Amari Cooper lay on his left shoulder, eyes closes, his head ever so slowly tilting backward until it rested flat on the turf. After viciously colliding head-on with the lowered left shoulder of Broncos safety Darian Stewart, Cooper went limp. He ran a slant route and Derek Carr delivered the ball high. He had to. It hit Cooper's hands, bounced to the ground and boom. He was out cold, players waving their arms for trainers to hurry on the field. Cooper eventually moved his legs at a snail's pace, regaining feeling as a cart and stretcher sat idle by his side. After several minutes, Cooper found the strength to rise to his feet, helped off the field by two trainers while the car drove away without the Raiders' top receiver on back. In the locker room after the game, Cooper limped from the showers to the exit with two Raiders staffers by his side. He wasn't available for interviews, but all signs indicate he avoided something worse. Cooper didn't return after leaving late in the second quarter of Oakland's 5-6 21-14 win over the Broncos 3-8 at the Coliseum on Sunday, and he was officially diagnosed with a concussion shortly after his exit. "It was a vicious hit, the kind we're trying to remove from our game, quite frankly," Raiders coach Jack Del Rio said. "You see less and less of those. I'm sure the league will take a hard look at it. Those are the kinds of impact hits that don't need to be a part of our game right now. The guy is clearly defenseless and got targeted right in the head. There's a chance to hit in the strike zone and be somewhere else and not be there like that." Raiders quarterback Derek Carr said he tried to hold back emotions. He couldn't ignore the guilt, feeling partially responsible for Cooper's injury given where he threw the ball. Stewart was flagged 15 yards for unnecessary roughness on the play. "The way the linebacker played it, I had to throw it where I had to throw it," Carr said. "But anytime he gets hit, I feel terrible. Rodney Hudson saw it on my face and said, 'Hey man, shake it off. We gotta win this game.' I was like, 'You're right, I'll be good, but that's my brother. I hope that he will be okay, I know he will.'" I talked to him seeing Cooper walk under his own power, and after the game and Carr's words both assured the receiver may have avoided an injury more severe than the initial reaction indicated. Before the collision, Cooper caught his only target for a 9-yard touchdown. His fifth score of the year and second in 3 quarters gave the Raiders a 7-0 lead with 8:45 left in the first half. Cooper's injury later in the quarter left the Raiders without their top 2 receivers after Michael Crabtree was ejected following a first-quarter brawl. The leftovers of Cordarrelle Patterson, Johnny Horton and Seth Roberts more than sufficed, as the trio combining for 7 catches and 151 yards. Navarro Bowman secures Raiders' first interception of the season. Bowman went into panic mode when Paxton Lynch rolled left near the goal line. The Broncos quarterback fired the ball into traffic, and Bowman broke up the pass intended for tight end Virgil Green. Bowman fell to the ground in the end zone and the ball deflected off Reggie Nelson. With the linebacker still flat on his back, the ball fluttered to the turf. Luckily for the Raiders, it landed right on Bowman's chest. I was 0-for-0-4 in that column, too, so to bring the morale to the defense, I'm sure all the veteran guys were trying to get an interception too since the season started. It was great to knock that one down. I was in panic mode. The play fake that came up, I realized it was a pass, so I used a guard to push out of there and run and find the guy that was open. That wasn't my man. I just dove to break it up and landed on my back and the ball was through." Not only did Bowman's pick end the Raiders' historic interception drought that lasted 615 minutes and 52 seconds, it jump-started a touchdown drive the other way. Coaches have said all season that interceptions come in bunches. We'll see if that's true for the Raiders. Marshawn Lynch carries biggest load of season. Jack Del Rio and Todd Downing preached this week about feeding Lynch more. After Oakland's starting running back logged season-high 6.1 yards per carry on 11 rushes against the Patriots, they wanted to see more. Lynch's 18 rushes in Week 1 stood as a season high, but Sunday he carried 26 times. He only tallied 67 yards on the ground against one of the best run defenses in the NFL, but Lynch eclipsed 100 yards from scrimmage for the first time as a Raider by chipping in 44 receiving yards on 3 catches. I feel like he's come back with even more purpose, resolve, whatever it might be, Del Rio said of the post-suspension Lynch. He come back operating in a way that I think is good for us. Very decisive and very purposeful about his running and his approach.